Every week you set aside $50. That's it. Not a windfall. Not a lottery ticket. Just $50. Maybe skipping 2 takeout lunches, brewing your coffee at home for a week, or putting that impulse buy back on the shelf. It feels almost insignificant, right? Like tossing a pebble into the ocean. But Warren Buffett, the guy who turned pocket change into one of the world's largest fortunes, would tell you that pebble is the only thing that matters. Because he knows a secret. Wealth isn't built in grand gestures. It's built in the boring, relentless consistency of showing up week after week with that $50. He didn't start with millions. He started with newspapers and pinball machines, saving nickels and dimes. And his blueprint for turning your $50 a week into $500,000 isn't some complex Wall Street alchemy. It's shockingly simple, profoundly powerful, and hinges entirely on 2 forces: your discipline and time's magic trick, compounding. Forget the image of Buffett as a frantic day trader glued to screen. His real genius lies in extreme patience and a fundamental understanding of human nature and math. The first step isn't about picking hot stock. It's about creating that $50 reliably. Buffett famously lived way below his means even as a young man making good money. If he earned $50,000, he lived like he earned $40,000. That gap, $10,000 a year, or roughly $192 a week, wasn't deprivation, it was ammunition. He treated saving not as a sacrifice, but as buying future freedom. Do not save what is left after spending, he advises, but spend what is left after saving. That $50 a week, that's you paying your future self first. It's making the money work for you before life's little expenses nibble it away. He paid cash whenever possible. Feeling the physical act of handing over bills makes spending feel more real, helping curb the easy slide of credit cards. This isn't about being miserly, it's about being intentional. It's strategic subtraction to fuel your financial engine. So where does that $50 go every single week, rain or shine? Buffett's core advice for the vast majority of people is disarmingly simple and backed by decades of data. Consistently buy a low-cost S&P 500 index fund. Keep buying it through thick and thin, and especially through thin. Why this? Because the S&P 500 isn't a gamble on one company. It's owning a tiny slice of 500 of America's biggest, most established companies: Apple, Microsoft, Johnson & Johnson, Visa, you name it. Over the long haul, despite wars, recessions, and pandemics, this collection of businesses has grown. The average annual return, about 10% over the last century. That's the bedrock. No fancy stock picking required. You just buy a fund that tracks this index. Think VOO, Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, or IVV, iShares Core S&P 500 ETF. Your job? Set up an automatic transfer. Every Friday, $50 gets pulled from your checking and buys more shares of the fund. You don't watch the daily gyration. You don't try to time the market. You just keep buying. Here's where the magic happens, and it's pure math, not magic. Compounding. It's earning returns not just on your original $50, but on the returns those $50 have already earned. It's interest earning interest, growth building on growth. It starts slow, almost imperceptibly. Buffett knows the biggest enemy isn't a market crash, it's you. Specifically, your emotions. Psychologists Kahneman and Tversky nailed it. Losses hurt about twice as much as gains feel good. When the market inevitably tanks, 2008, 2020, whenever the next one hits, seeing your hard-earned $495,000 suddenly show $300,000 on your screen is terrifying. The instinct? Panic. Sell. Get out before it drops more. Buffett calls this the cardinal sin of investing. His antidote is pure Zen, the Rip Van Winkle strategy. Buy, then go to sleep. Wake up decades later. Why? Because history screams one truth. The market always recovers, always, and goes on to new highs. Those downturns, they're actually your friend when you're consistently investing. When the market crashes, your $50 buys more shares. It's like your favorite store having a 30% off everything fire sale. Buffett didn't become Buffett by selling in panic. He became Buffett by deploying billions into chaos, like buying Goldman Sachs during the 2008 meltdown. Your $50 a week during a downturn is your own micro version of that move. It feels counterintuitive, but it's how you truly harness the power of the market. The final non-negotiable ingredient, time. Buffett bought his first stock at 11. His wealth didn't truly explode until he was in his 60s and beyond. Why? Because compounding is exponential. The early years feel like pushing a boulder uphill. His partner, Charlie Munger, bluntly said, "The first $100,000 is a but you gotta do it. It requires pure grit and discipline. But once you cross that threshold, momentum kicks in."